Whether you're settling on the new island of Catan, busting down doors as munchkins, or sinking battleships, board games are one of the best ways to strategize, compete, and have fun with your friends. While I could monopolize your time talking about Seven Wonders or Arkham Horror, we're here to talk about our not-so-trivial pursuit, Gemstones. Gemstones have been used as resources and win conditions in all kinds of different board games. Today, I want to take you through some of my favorite ones. So set your markers at the starting position and let's roll. For the most part, we see gemstones implemented as resources for players to use on their way to victory. One of the best examples of this is Splendor, where the players play as various Renaissance merchants collecting gems, mines, and more in order to win the game. The card game features diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, onyx, and something called a gold joker. Other similar games are Emerald, a board game about stealing gemstones from a dragon and its baby. These are just a few examples, but there are dozens of board games that feature all sorts of gems. But when it comes to collecting gemstones for the sake of victory, nothing comes close to the cutthroat and ruthless competitive intensity of Pretty Pretty Princess. Made popular in the 1990s, Pretty Pretty Princess is a turn-based board game where players must complete a set of same-colored jewelry and obtain a crown in order to win. Just make sure to avoid that black ring. Based on colors, I'd guess the game is representing the big three. That is Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and Amethyst for a nice even 4. Between all of those options, I would without a doubt be going for a Pretty Pretty Ruby Princess. Can you imagine how much a full set of earrings, bracelet, and necklace made of rubies would cost? Before the 90s, there was another board game with gemstones at its heart that was sweeping the nation, Golden Girl and the Guardians of the Gemstones. Released back in 1985 by Parker Brothers, this game featured Golden Girl, Sapphire, Ruby, Onyx, and Jade, heroes that were powered by their respective gemstones. The goal was to gain the most power gems and prove yourself to be the best of all the Guardians. Besides the classic 80s aesthetic, just look at the art for this game, it features one of our favorite things to do with gemstones, comparing them with one another. When you look at the 5 Guardians and their respective stones, it's clear which ones you would want to pick in a battle. For starters, as we have said before on this channel, gold would be terrible in a battle because of its softness and malleability, so Golden Girl is out the window. Onyx would be okay. It has no cleavage planes along which to split, and it's pretty hard at about a 6.5 or 7 on the Mohs scale. But when it comes to hardness, none of the others come close to Ruby or Sapphire. With a hardness of 9, Ruby and Sapphire, both members of the corundum family, are gonna be pretty hard to scratch. On the other hand, Jade has excellent toughness and would be very difficult to break or fracture, a different kind of strength that could allow it to stand toe-to-toe with the other two. So next time you team up with the Guardians of the Gemstones, reach out for Corundum or Jade to make sure you come out victorious. Now let's talk about 2 board games with a gemstone as their ultimate prize. First, one of the most valuable gemstones you can win in a board game comes from a little game called Curse of the Ruby Rhino. This game has players compete for the stunning Ruby Rhino. This is a dice game, so there isn't as much strategy as there is luck involved, but it does feature the little rhino as part of the package. While this is obviously plastic, you can imagine why adventurers would hunt this thing down if it was real. Such a skilled carving done of a ruby of this clarity and color would be worth tens of millions of dollars. That would be much less of a curse and more like a blessing. On the other side of the board game gemstone spectrum is a game called Black Diamond of the Lost Palace. In this game, adventurers travel into the dangerous Cambodian jungle in search for the legendary Black Diamond. That sounds like a pretty thrilling adventure, but a pretty measly payoff. Black diamonds are diamonds, but they're not that valuable on the market. Sure, you can still sell it for a diamond price, but would you be willing to risk your life in the jungle up against dangerous animals? Or the Potion of Oblivion for that matter, just for a black diamond? I'd better be getting a Ruby Rhino out of that deal or I'm not playing. I'll just take a black spinel, thank you. Those are all the games we wanted to talk about today, but first, one more fun fact. Did you know that the first ever board game is dated back to ancient Egypt around 3500 BC? What didn't the Egyptians do first? It's fun to see that board games have been a cultural staple for nearly all of civilization. Now tell me, which board games are your favorites? Down for a game of Betrayal at the house on the hill? Let me know down in the comments while I go try on all my pretty princess jewelry again. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to see all of our new content. See you later.